What if Deku was a orc? Part 4. Now, before I get into this, I do need to do some explaining. It being the background and all that. So, as you guessed, the castle that they're going to is Mordor. Only a few changes. The big tower in the eye will not be there. There will not be lava. And the sky will just be regular blue. I want to explain that so no one gets the wrong idea on how it's not going to look exactly like Mordor. Because I don't want it to stick out too much to where the heroes will find it immediately. Without further ado, let's get right on into this. We currently have, the older orcs that raised Deku, currently there with a female orc, and Arca, the archer orc that Deku summoned, an elite orc. As they're around, what happened to him? As a female orc, I don't know. He was just writhing in pain when I heard the noises. I just entered in. As the older orc is checking on him, he has a bit of a fever. Do you know what could have happened? No. Nothing at all. What about the relic? Could it have possibly done something? Maybe, but not certain. Well, let's keep an eye on him for now. And let's keep on moving our supplies to the old castle that we found, correct? What should we name it, by the way? I say we name it after our old, powerful home, Mordor. Seriously? Okay, maybe not Mordor, but something similar to it. We'll worry about the name later. But let's just start evacuating. The heroes will definitely search this area soon. I want everyone out of here. And remember, no one touched the orb directly. That's an order from your elder. As all the orcs nod and go do what they need to. As we go to Deku, who's currently in his mind, as he sees a person with flames just sitting on a throne. As he's looking up, who are you? I am, Sauron. Or, the Dark Lord, all that, Saruman. As he's sitting there, and I need you to do a few things for me. I thought you died. Yes, I am dead, but you see, a little bit of my soul is in that orb, you see. So, I am technically not dead at the moment. As Deku looks up. But for the most part, I am. I put pretty much my entire soul into the ring. Only a small portion relies in the orb, which will allow me to stay among, the living for a short amount of time now. What are you saying? I will no longer have control over the orb or its powers come about a week. I've been struggling to attain, life for centuries. And my time for holding the attachment to this item is coming to its end. I want you to lead this era into one of devastation and conquest. Why should I do that? They've done nothing to me. As then Saruman just appears behind him. Really now? What about this? As he replays the scene of, Endeavor killing his mother. As he looks at it with a bit of rage. Yes, the heroes don't care about you. In fact, he plays all the remarks of his, people that called him names and all that when they discovered his quirk. And his appearance. See, they don't care about you at all. All they want to do is get rid of you, kill you. Is that really what you want to go down in history? As a nobody who is killed off just because of their appearance? This is why I loved working with the orcs. They're misunderstood, but respect a person with power. In fact, I will choose you to lead them. As Deku looks at Saruman. So what? Sure, I can lead the orcs, but I still don't want to bring in any conflict among people. You still don't get it, do you? Your orcs are arriving for war. Battle! You won't be able to contain their fury for much longer. As Deku's like, you're right. But I will say this. Prepare the troops, gather the orcs, summon as many as you need. But I expect bloodshed. By the time I am, well, my soul leaves the rest of this orb. It will still contain power and foresight among things. But I will no longer be trapped in it. Or the little pieces of my soul that's been trapped in it will fade away. And I'll even give you a gift. As Deku looks over, as in Saruman is just in front of him, and touches his head. As he falls down, remember, I expect bloodshed. And I want it before I fade away. Let's just say it's my last token that I would like for you to repay for exchange of this power. As he then just, well, wakes up. As he wakes up, as he's sweating and all that, as he looks around, seeing the female orc and a couple orcs, as they're, well, asking questions. Are you alright, sir? I'm fine. Question, what did Saruman look like? As a lot of them are confused, as one orc enters, he was a person in all black armor. For the most part, the Dark Lord. Did he ever have a fiery appearance? As all the orcs shake their head no. It may have been his ability, though. Oh. Well, I think I met this Sauron. As a lot of the orcs are interested in all that. Because of hearing this. What did he ask for? As then his eyes turn red. With black irises as well. Prepare the troops for battle. As he's now in like a war frenzy state. As we go to Saruman, who's currently watching from the orb. The time is ticking before I fade away, but that little spell I put on you, exchange of power, will have you crave for battle. It's the least I can do for someone that has managed to reform the army of Mordor. I even did a favor recreating the castle similarly to the original one, but I had to get rid of a few things. Hence the tower. I couldn't surround it with lava, which that was a pain. And I couldn't change the sky. It would all lure people there to it. And he doesn't have, well, the manpower for them to do a full-on attack of the place at the moment. But I'll wait and see how things lay out. As he looks at a timer on his wrist, saying 1 week. Now let's see what bloodshed you'll bring. As he leaves his room and yells out, Arca, where are you? As the orc comes out, yes sir, with his bow. You called? Yes, prepare your archers. I want you to attack any nearby vehicles on this passing roadside. Also ambush any of them at the ruins. I want them killed, annihilated. You hear me? As the orc smiles, with pleasure. As several armored orcs follow with him. And you, as he points at another orc, how is the process of moving all of our supplies to the castle? It's going smoothly, sir. Good, increase that process by 10-fold. As he summons several more orcs. Help him in his project. As they nod and go do their missions. As one of the elders comes up. You need to call up some more advanced orcs, maybe some of our heavy armored troops. As Deku looks at it, I know that, elder. But I need to start with the conquest soon. First, we'll make our base in the castle. Gather our forces, then we shall spread to contain and control the entirety of Japan, and then spread our conquest throughout the world. As the elder has noticed something different about him, and his eyes. Are you feeling all right? Yes, now prepare the troops for what I've asked. As he goes off, as he walks into a room, as then he falls on his knee and holds his head, as his eyes go back to normal. Oh, what happened? Why was I filled with rage and a need for battle? As then Sauron appears in front of him, but no one can see him. Because that is the gift I gave you. You yearn for battle, bloodshed, conflict, and you shall do so. In fact, your men are getting ready to attack the nearby coming to the ruin people. The tourists, I would say. On your orders. Don't forget your riders, your cavalrymen. I do not remember the dogs the orcs rode, so just imagine those as the cavalry. I'll probably know their names by the next part. As we see Arka and several archers waiting. As Deku gets up, I need to tell them to stop. As then Saruman places his arm on his shoulder. There's no need for that. As his eyes turn back. That's right. They dare trespass into my territory, they shall pay. Saruman just smiles. Yes, this little gift I gave you is going to be one to watch even from the afterlife. Unfortunately, I won't be able to. But I can enjoy it while I'm still around. As Deku goes over to, Arka, the archer orc person guy, as he arrives there, status report. Yes, sir. We're preparing to launch arrows upon several tourists. There seems to be a group of 10 of them this time. On my signal, you fire. As he raises his hand, as the orcs are looking and ready. Fire! As a volley of arrows appear out of the sky, taking all of the tourists off guard, several of them being, killed by the arrows. Now, one of them happened to have had, a hard skin, as he just is pretty much the only survivor, as several orcs in armor just appear out. As the guy is scared, doesn't know what to do. As then, Orca peels back a long arrow, as a few orcs come right in with their swords, as he just crouches down, as they're trying to, cut him, but can't because of his thick skin. There's always a weak spot. As the guy tries to get up and run, as soon as he turns, he shoots an arrow, going straight through one eye and out the other, as he falls down dead. The eye is always the weak point for people like that. Excellent shot. Sir, can we continue this to, the outer skirts of the city? As then he gets hit with an arm by Deku, sending him flying backward, hitting a tree. You shall not do so unless I give the order. As he gets up, a little bit injured, but really only bruised for the most part. You didn't have to hit me. You didn't have to ask a question that was stupid. We do not have the manpower. So you will do as I say. You may keep killing people within this area. But if the heroes come, your orders are to retreat. Fall back to our little outpost here. And if that fails and falls, fall back to the castle. Of course, sir. As he just leans down and bows. Good. Now I'll leave some of the lesser orcs here for you to control. I'm taking all the heavy armored orcs to the castle. After all, it's going to take me a while to amass an army enough to take on every hero in Japan. But feel free to kill anyone that trespasses into these woods. Until we have amassed enough troops, I forbid you from ever going into a city. Do I make myself clear? As he nods in agreement. Good. as Deku walks away. As well, the riding orcs come over with their dogs, or wolves, whatever those creatures are. I'll know by the next episode of this series. As, sir, we brought your, well, dog. I'm just gonna call them dogs for the moment. As it's a albino one, all white and all that. You brought me a good, well. As he starts to rub basically the big dog from Lord of the Rings. A good animal. As he gets on. Now, to the castle. As they start to ride off. As some of them are dragging supplies through like carriages and all that. As we see the female orc also with them and all that. Give me a report on how many orcs are currently at the castle. We have 10 currently keeping an eye on things. Although they won't be able to cover the layout with just them. Good. When I get there, I'll summon a total of 200 orcs. That will have me get tired, but for the remaining of the time, I need manpower to protect the place. I see, sir. Shall we send any other, well, connections? No, we'll trust no one in this era but the orcs. Ourselves. Do I make myself clear? As they start crossing the bridge to the castle. As Deku stops with the other orcs riders pretty much just stopping as well. As he looks up. Ah, if it isn't going to be our home. As one of the orcs speaks up, and it was one of the orcs that had been in Mordor. It kind of looks like Mordor. It does have a similar appearance, but it's different. There's a few those towers that were in Mordor are no longer here. And this place is not covered by lava. As the orc nods in agreement. Whoever has brought the supplies and equipment, take it into the castle immediately. As the orcs pulling the carriages start going in. As Deku's just looking over, well on the bridge with a few guards watching as they're just moving supplies. Sir, reports will get out about those murder and missing civilians. Let them. They need to know that there's a threat in this society worth paying attention to. We shall not be shoved aside, ignored. We'll be the ones on top. As just a person standing on top of one of the front, towers is looking down next to the bridge. As he starts to clap. He's doing well. For even the first day, he's speaking more like a tactician general. I have to admit, he has the orcs doing everything he says. And by the looks of it, he also knows discipline. As he smirks. I have to thank the society, guarantee, if he wasn't treated this way. Before, I would have never managed to change his mind. So I gotta say, this society are real fools. 'Cause I've just created a monster that will rival this era of whatever we're in. But should I give them the technology of... No, he probably has that. After all, I did some digging through his quark and memories. When he touched the spear, he can also summon the artillery. Should I call upon some old allies for him? No. They're probably long gone, since we're in an era of, I don't know where. Quarks is what I overheard in his memories. But it doesn't matter. He should be able to conquest. After all, he doesn't even know he has the power to summon the trolls, too. Or the Urukai. You know I'm talking about the Urukai. Well, I'll just have to wait and see until he finds out. Although hopefully he finds out before I disappear completely. As it's nighttime, As Deku looks over at the tower, seeing him, as then he just blinks and he fades away. As one of the orcs goes to, well, tap on him, he then gets a mean right hook to the face, sending him flying off the bridge. As Deku looks down, seeing that the orc died. Listen, none of you tap me. You even think about laying a hand on me, you'll end up like him. As the orcs that were guarding him just nod in agreement. Now I want you to send the orc riders out. Hunt down anyone near the forests. Gather supplies. And if any heroes stumble into our area, maul them alive. Kill them. Do whatever you want. Just make sure they're dead. As the orcs start to snicker evilly. As they start to ride off. As just imagine the orc riders coming out of the gate, along with the ones already on the bridge leaving. As Deku is standing and looking over this, and smiles. Yes, this plan will be magnificent. As we go to, several months have passed to where he is, well, basically situated himself in a castle, amassed an army. He's learned to use the Urukai and all that. Now, Sauron has obviously faded away at this time. But he had watched Deku do several things, as murdering several heroes, and even managed to destroy a town that was in the forest. Other than that, that's all Sauron could really see before his, time had come and he faded away. As he's sitting in the throne hall of the castle, as a few orcs come in, armored up and everything. As we see an Urukai put a table in the middle of the room. As Deku goes to sit down at the, head of the table. As Ark and a few other orcs in armor and different looking orcs come over and sit down. Arka, as the male archer orc, Arka stands up. Yes, sir. How is the archer division? Doing well, sir. We've hunted down several tourists that came to the ruins. We've had a few heroes try to intervene, but we eliminated them quickly. Good. As then we see one with a chain around his neck, orc. Ah, the tamer. Give me your report. We've trained several more animals. As usual, our riders have grown in numbers. Well, that's amazing. We can increase our cavalry size. As we see an orc with glasses. Well, sir, I do have some calculations that it may not be wise to attack the heroes. Do I care? As he looks at the orc. Listen, just get back onto the duty of building the device I want you to make. Yes, sir. As the smart orc with glasses just sits down. As then orc with white arms is just, leans up. Why do you keep him around? He's not really useful at all. He just got some brains. We could just kill him, use him for meat. Calm down. He's smart, and we need that. After all, he's a tactician, as well as an inventor. You orcs will follow his commands for certain events. I admit, he doesn't have much courage in battle, but his plans have not gone without unnoticed by me. He's completed a lot of key events so far. Sir, heroes have noticed our events. We've killed over about 100 or so people. This will not go unnoticed. Yes, I'm aware. We've already had to deal with heroes who are investigating. I say we just go over and just take them out. As Deku stares down at a black armored orc that was next to the person that said that, simply nodding his head, as the black armored orc just simply cuts off the guy's head. A Anyone else want to order me around? As all of them just nod. As the black armored orc is still just standing there. No, to you. What's your name? As the orc says nothing. I said, what is your name? As he says, the Dark Orc Knight. The Dark Orc Knight. You are now replacing him as in that position. As he nods and takes his seat and kicks the corpse out of the chair. Now listen to me closely. First off, you two guards come in, grab the body, and takes it away. I want to discuss a matter. Within a while, I've overheard a few villains. As all the orcs are now listening towards Deku. Wondering, what does he mean? Well, I had overheard villains talking about an event called the USJ. As a lot of them are murmuring among themselves. Yes. We'll make our debut of our, plans there. The heroes know of us, but have never found us. So we shall continue our planning for the time being. So let's, try to communicate with this LOV. No. Not even that. We don't want communication or working with some weak quark users. We'll simply take the place on ourselves. As one of them asks, Sir, as... What? Well, how are we gonna get there? Too feeble-minded to figure it out. Simple, we'll use some mole creatures. Some underground big monsters to simply just take us there. We'll have our army come out from underground. We'll slaughter them all. But sir, where will we be digging from? The mountains near the city. It's farther away from our castle. Farther away from our territory. They won't find or expect we live this over here. So I expect a mass amount of troops for the attack. When is the attack and what's our time frame? You have a month to prepare. As he claps, get to it! As they leave. As he sighs. As he looks over at a wall, where there's a few mounted hero skulls, with their masks and all that. Weaklings who thought they could take out the orcs. Y'all deserved being materialized on a wall. As one of the orcs comes over, what shall I do with them? You know what? You can get rid of the skulls, just keep their uniforms. Simply take them to a treasure hall. Put them on display. If the heroes do manage to find it, they'll be horrified of how many comrades I've killed of theirs. As he smiles evilly. Yes, sir. As the orc goes over and grabs, them and take them away. Now time for the major planning of this event. As he gets up the animal taming orc that had the chain around his neck comes in. Sir, I want to discuss something with you. He looks over. Yes. It may take more than a month to get the animals to dig that far for us. The distance is too vast, too wide. I want it done with before the USJ. If you cannot do that, I will simply get someone that can. If I put him on overtime, I could get done before the day before. But the monster, the creature, will have to retreat as soon as he finishes the entrance, which will be done on the day of the event. Very well, I have no plans for him to interfere anyway. Is there anything else you want to discuss? Will you be sending any of your heavy division orcs? Of course not. This is a simple matter. I will not send any of my heavy units. Heavy infantry into this battle, where it will only cause casualties on my end. They shall be used wisely, so we'll have the orc fodder, and a bit of at least decent tier orcs enter and do battle. Send a few cave trolls as well. And he simply nods. Very well, sir. As Deku has grown a reputation for himself. This reputation being that he's managed to destroy a town and he's never been found. And his name in the underworld is known as the Orc Lord. And I hope you've enjoyed part 4 of What If Deku Was an Orc.